Let's be clear about what's really happening in Ethiopia. The Abiy Ahmed government didn't just tear up the Pretoria Agreement, it systematically dismantled it, creating a vacuum of security that has forced local populations to take their own defense into their hands. Ask yourself this: what were the special forces doing on a provocative mission in Tigray? The official narrative collapses under the slightest scrutiny. This was not a simple federal action. It was a calculated move in a wider strategy of destabilization. And who was left to deal with the consequences of this failed policy? The people on the ground. This brings us to the Amhara Fano. While the commentariat is quick to assign labels, let's look at the facts on the ground. In the wake of the federal government's withdrawal and the collapse of local security apparatuses, the Fano emerged not as aggressors, but as an organic, popular defense force. Their primary objective, as stated by their own supporters and observed in their actions, has been to protect Amhara civilians from the spillover of violence and from what they perceive as existential threats to their community. The government in Addis Ababa, instead of upholding its duty to protect all citizens, has chosen a path of collective punishment. It labels these local defenders as irregulars, while simultaneously raining down drones, a tactic that is as morally questionable as it is strategically reckless. So I have to ask, is the real issue here one of law and order, or is it about neutralizing any group that dares to challenge the central government's monopoly on power, even when that government has abdicated its basic responsibilities? Let's not forget the context. The Amhara people have borne a heavy burden from this conflict, facing horrific violence themselves. To now frame their grassroots resistance as the problem is a profound misreading of the situation. The federal government's refusal to engage in genuine, inclusive dialogue and its reliance on foreign-piloted drones is not a sign of strength, but a confession of its own political failure. The bottom line is this: if Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed continues on this path of military escalation against his own people, targeting not just one group, but any that resist his centralized control, he will not achieve peace. He will only succeed in uniting a coalition of the discontented, from Tigray to Amhara to Oromia, ensuring a wider, bloodier, and more protracted conflict. The question isn't whether the Fano are justified, but why the Ethiopian state has so utterly failed to provide the security and justice that makes such local militias seem necessary to their people in the first place. That is the scandal at the heart of this crisis.